The following show may cause you to think differently. Welcome to Sing Out Loud with Ella Glasgow, the show where we highlight people who are doing just that. From authors to coaches to artists and everyone in between, the guests on this show have found a way to push past their fears and truly live life out loud. And through their stories and service to the world, are encouraging you to do the same. Joining the conversation today is filmmaker and entrepreneur Victoria Rook. And on the artist stage, singer-songwriter Brian Hayes. And I'm your host, Ella Glasgow, and it's time for you to sing out loud. Hi, how are you doing today? It is a beautiful, sunshiny day here in Orlando, and I'm excited for who we've got on the show today. If we haven't hung out before, welcome. My name is Ella Glasgow. I'm a coach, speaker, singer, and your host. Today's format is a little bit different. I always like switching things up. And speaking of which, when was the last time that you switched things up? Whether that be in your business or personal life. Changing the way we do things can be scary, but it can be exciting at the same time. It can bring new life to an old dream. And for me, it's the way I keep passion alive for all the goals that I'm after. And our featured guest today lives by that very same rule. A woman with passion for writing, film, and looking your personal best. Victoria Rook knows all about trying new things and never being afraid to switch it up. I caught up with my friend Victoria and talked with her about her next passion project, and there are some definite gems she's laying down. So are you ready? Let's get to it. Victoria Rook, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here today. That's a whole lot of stuff, and I know that you do even more outside of those things related to why your face looks so amazing right now.
I do a lot. This is definitely my newest adventure. I'm very excited about it. It's definitely been something I've been passionate about all my life.
That's awesome. Well, because I know that you have had multiple passions, and this is not your first foray into business, I know that my audience would like to know first, what took you on this path? How did you begin in this way and getting to where you are now?
Sure. So I've always been into film. Film has been something where it was kind of just a part of me. I grew up acting in short films for college students who were in film school, doing plays and productions in churches and in schools and that sort of thing. And then around high school time is when I really was kind of like, I really want to create my own stories. So what I did was the play that we were doing that year, we were actually, the drama club was going to write the play. So we weren't going to go off of a play that was already created. And so I did all the character development for it and really progressed the storyline, and then actually ended up being assistant director. And that's when I was really like, yeah, this is my lane. This is something I really want to be doing for the rest of my life. And so from there on out, I just started writing my own stories. I am a little introvert, so I like to people watch. I like to kind of just do my thing, like if I'm at Starbucks and stuff. And so naturally, I kind of am like that person over there where they're doing their thing, kind of like, well, what is their backstory? Like, what do you think that they're, doing? What are they doing later today? And, I'm starting to just kind of create stories just for the heck of it. And it started to really translate into different ideas I had for TV pilots, for movies, graphic novels, this whole storytelling thing. And then my family always knew I was into it. And my dad was kind of like, we should really look at some of the stuff that I've written. So I looked over his stuff that we'll talk about in a minute, and we're creating an entire franchise out of it. And then we were like, well, let's go a step further and let's just create our own studio for it. So now we have our own brand that we'll be making all this, all the stories, the graphic novels, the movies and stuff under together, which will be really fun, and not have to necessarily go outside of our own creative lane.
That's awesome, because I remember one of the last times that we were together, you guys were showing me some of the books that you had created. So I know that you got a new book that you're working on, Sin.
Yeah.
Right? Is that going to be a part of this new Rook Studios universe?
Yes, so that is going to be our first project that goes under Rook Studios. So we have a lot of IP or intellectual property to choose from screenplays that I've written and stories that he's created. And this one felt like it was in its most entirety. So it's going to be a whole franchise. So we have a graphic novel already in production for it. We have the stage production and the screenplay already written now after its first draft. We're already past that phase. We're actually going to be doing a live event in March. So we're super excited. Yeah, we're full going ahead. Yeah, it's really fun. It's cool. And yeah, it's our first project under Rook Studios. We're excited.
That's freaking awesome. How did we have this conversation before? I'm this is amazing. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. So I know, because I know your dad and because I know your family, how has growing up in that household been a good ground for you to be able to be all that you dream to be?
So I definitely don't take any of my current or future success for granted at all. I know that I was definitely, I definitely started with a good course in life, starting with my parents. And one of the things I always tell them, and you can ask them and they'll brag about it all day long, is that I was never encouraged to pick a B plan. It was always, choose whatever you want to do. We don't care as long as you're fully pursuing it. And so I dabbled in a lot of different careers to start out with. One of the things was I, for a little bit, wanted to be a wedding dress designer. And so I found this box, because I moved recently, I found this box of all my wedding dress sketches. And I remembered all the books that my parents helped me purchase that went into wedding dress designing and these catalogs of brides and stuff. And whatever I shifted to, whatever my interests were, they always fully supported it. And even if it was something where, I stopped and was like, I don't know if I want to be a wedding dress designer for the rest of my life. I think I want to do something a little bit more of that storytelling nature, because that was always something I went back to. They were totally cool that, they were like, okay, how has this helped you kind of decide, where to go with this? How has this learning, how is that going to translate over to what you want to do for the future? It never felt like I was, giving up or anything like that. They always helped me choose, how is this helping your personal storyline, and so when I had people say, you can't really get into acting, it's really hard to do, doing film and stuff, that's a really difficult industry to break into. That was kind of weird for me, because I knew that. I understand it's not an easy thing to just, wake up and go and do. But I was never told by somebody in a negative way, you should really look at doing something different. And for me, it was kind of, I was a little bit taken aback and was like, well, I have to do it. It's not really an option for me. This is what I want to be doing. Mm-hmm. And that's how my parents treated the whole pursuit of this career. They were very much along the lines of, it doesn't matter what people say. If this is what you want to do and you have the passion for it, absolutely go for it. And so they never encouraged me to pick okay, well, what if that doesn't work out? What are you going to fall back on? It was never like that. And so that's definitely something that later down the line, when I have kids, it's something I'm very much going to remember and make sure to apply when I have my own family. So that's a big portion of why I'm able to do what I want to do.
Yeah. So if you, thinking about, because there are tons of people who do not have that same encouragement, especially when it comes to something that's artistic. And in my mind, everything is an art. Mm-hmm. Regardless of whether you be in the entertainment industry or outside of it, being a fire chief or being a nurse, whatever that happens to be, there's an art to what it is that you're doing. So for those people that don't have the same fortunate situation, I think that you and I both had some encouragers in our lives that said, whatever it is you want to do, go ahead and do it. If you don't have that, what would be your encouragement for them? How can they find that tribe?
Yeah. So it takes work no matter what. And even though my parents set me on a really awesome course, it still takes work. I put in my effort. And so one of the things I found really, really helpful was I'm constantly trying to learn more about my craft. I don't take acting classes or anything like that. I go to YouTube and I go to masterclass and things like that, so that I'm constantly not only feeding the passion, but I'm learning to really hone in on that and sharpen up my skills with things. So that's something that you should never stop with. That's something that can help not only open up opportunities for you, but really grow the clarity in your career for that. So that's something I would say. And then also realize that you're always going to have people that are going to tell you no and discourage you and things like that. So if you were choosing, one that people always go to is parents always want their kids to be doctors, for example. So if you really wanted to be a dancer or something like that, and then your parents were saying to be a doctor because that, it makes a lot of money, it's a really great career, and you can be very successful at it. If you chose to be a doctor because your parents wanted you to do that and that was what you were supposed to do, anybody over here who is supporting you to be a dancer is going to be like, no, you can't do that. You need to go back to your dream. But then if you chose your dream, you're going to have the people who are a little bit more practical say, you shouldn't do that. That's, you're not going to be having a good career with that. How are you going to support your family? So no matter what you do, you're going to upset people. You're going to kind of rock the boat a bit. So why not do it for something that's worth doing it for? Do it for something where it makes all the drama or chaos or family tension or something that might come about. Do it for something that's worth it to you. And that would be your passion and your dream and making all the negativity worthwhile because you're in pursuit of something that's really making you happy at the end of the day.
Where can people find you? There are all kinds of things for us to be able to find. And I know that you have a lot of domain names.
I do. I have a whole list, and it's constantly growing.
So which one is the best one for our audience to reach you? What's the thing that you'd like for them to look into maybe the most? Okay,
so I would say with Root Studios, go to supportsin.com, and then you'll be able to join the mission and kind of follow along as we create this entity and be a part of it with us.
And support Sin, a little tongue-in-cheek.
Yep. Above all else, we're witty. We're witty and sarcastic and dry humor, and that's just how we are. And it shows in our business.
This is true. Thank you
Thank you,
Victoria, for spending this time with us. And you guys, before we go any further, Victoria's not leaving. It's just for a moment because now it's time for the artist's stage.
Today's guest artist is a talented vocalist, songwriter, arranger, and composer. Apart from performing his own original music, he incorporates many covers into his sets of both current and classic artists. Today, he's singing one of his own, a song he calls This Is Me. Please welcome to the artist stage, Brian Hayes.
So here we are alone together as I play and sing you my song. And I know the music's out of style, but I hope that message is strong. And I know that most have never heard my name or seen my face. But while I've got you in my sight, I'll try to save my place. So this is me, it's who I am. Another one to be flashing the pen unless I try my best to show you all. This is what I'm meant to be. I know someday I'm gonna prove that this is me. Oh yes, I will. So pour a drink and think how funny, when I'm done how little I'm paid. Get back on that bus and make a fuss about women and places I've played. But before the kit is broken down and your mind has slipped away, I'll sing my heart and soul to you and hope you'll want to stay. So this is me, it's who I am, another one want to be flashing the pan unless I try my best to show you all this is what I'm meant to be. I know someday I'm gonna prove that this is me. This trouble and working like double and pay less than rubble. I know I can't complain, cause it chose us and all who oppose us to try to compose a new dream. But there's gotta be a silver lining, love, and for me I hope it's true, cause I know that I can rise above it all. I will fall, yes I'll pull through and show what I can do. So can laugh, put down and snicker. I won't bicker, no I won't protest, cause although it seems a hopeless dream, at least it's one of the best. And who knows what tomorrow holds or where I'll be next week. So long as I can sing my song, I'll land back on my feet. So this is me, it's who I am, another wannabe flashing the pan unless I try my best to show you all. I won't go down so easy, I must rise up and answer to that call. This is what I'm meant to be. I know someday I'm gonna prove to you that this is
That was amazing. So we're back with Victoria Rook, who you can find at rookstudios.com or supportsin.com. But Victoria, on the show, there are a few questions that I ask everybody. So it's now time for What's Your Fave?
I love it.
So, Victoria, of all of the things that you have been doing and all of the fun that you've had in your life, of your companies, which one is your fave and why?
So it's going to be Rook Studios. I love makeup and I love working with business women. But the film passion, it's above all else. That's just really, really me. And the cool thing with Rook Studios is it's my company. As far as when I joined in it with Dad, we were kind of deciding that, and I was like, you know what, I really want this to be mine. I really want this to be my film company. Like that means so much to me because this has been something I've been working for. And he was like, you know what, you can have it. So it's kind of cool because I'm the majority owner over my dad, and that's like, you know, it's just a little bit of an ego thing. But I'm really excited to finally get to really share the stories that I have and inspire other artists and then inspire people with whatever the message for that story is. It goes really deep, but above all else, it's just that storytelling passion really is like, that's what lights me up every day. So it's got to be my favorite.
Yeah. And then something very random.
Okay.
What is your favorite sock?
My favorite sock. Okay. So I have these socks that I got from Target. I can tell you right now, like exactly what it is.
I love so much that you were like
I know this.
I got this. Yeah,
no problem. So I'm much more of a heels person. Like all through high school, that was like my thing. I wore heels every single day. And they're just cute little kitten heels because, you know, it was a private school, so you had to, you know, look okay. You had to adhere to the uniform. But I always wore heels. I was never a tennis shoe person. as I started working out and stuff, I was like, I'm really not excited to be doing this. So let me get a whole bunch of cool socks because that's my motivator. And so I went to Target and just stocked up on a whole bunch of little ankle socks. And my favorite ones are dessert socks. And so they're white and they have little pies and little ice cream cones and little cakes and stuff all over them. And they are my favorite.
I love that so much. I have recently gotten into cute socks.
Yeah. It makes everything better. I don't wear tennis shoes, but when I do, I've got some really rockin' socks on.
Yes, I love that so much. Okay, and now this is a slightly serious question.
Okay, getting deep. Got it.
So, when you are 97 years old and you are sitting on your front porch, what do you imagine to have looked back on your life and having achieved?
Ooh. Okay, so definitely want a very happy family. I want that. That's really, really important to me. So whatever offspring and people that we've produced down the line by that time, I want us to all be in good terms. We all hang out. We get together every Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then I want to be able to look back and see a lot of really happy days on set. When people ask me like what my happy place is, it's definitely on the studio set, recording, directing, things like that. That's my zone. That's my element. It's really where I feel I'm fulfilling my purpose. So I want to be able to look back and have that be one of my biggest memories, is just the good times I have with my cast, with my assistant directors, with my producers, things like that.
That's awesome. And I know I told you I only had one more question, but I actually have a last one.
Oh, okay.
This really is the last question.
Okay.
If there was one thing, one word that you would leave our audience with, what would that be?
Passion. I think what you're passionate about says so much about you, and I don't think it's by accident. And so many people live their lives without fully tapping into their passion and really getting to pursue their dreams. And you can see so many studies on it, how it really affects more than just your happiness level. It goes really, really in depth to you as a being, because that's your purpose. That's what your heart is telling you to do. So passion, as far as, pursue your passion, but then live passionately too. Be passionate about what you're passionate about, and, passionately pursue your relationships, passionately pursue just your daily activities. Do it with life, do it with passion, because that's what's, at the end of the day, really going to, make you happy and make you feel fulfilled. If you're stuck in a daily routine of things that aren't making you happy and you don't feel passionate about, it's going to weigh on you, And so living a life full of passion, I think, is just so important, and will allow you to, when you're 97 years old, looking back on life, will allow you to live a life with, no regrets.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. And you know how I do. I got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. Go give your dreams a kick. Bye.
You like my sock answer?
I love it so much. I love it so much that you could not miss a beat.
It's my one day. It's my one day. It's my one day. It's my one day. I'm gonna live it all.